Kim Nicholson and her family and her thoughts and prayers, lost family member. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Rush County Schools' vision statement is achieving personal excellence through a wide range of excellent educational challenges and opportunities. Okay, Mr. Jameson.
Yes, at this time, I would like to call the Rushville High School Student Council, Executive Board, and Key Club officers to give their report.
I'm Heaven Denny, and I'm treasurer.
I'm Olivia Cooper. I'm the public relations officer.
I'm Eli Bridges, and I'm the historian.
I'm Gabby Pavey, and I'm Key Club co-president. I'm Natalie Cooper, and I'm Key Club co-president.
I'm Ian Philpott. I'm Key Club vice president.
I'm Jasmine Cooper, and I'm Key Club treasurer.
I'm Alexis Mahan, and I'm Key Club editor.
Well, welcome. Thank you for your introductions. We're glad to have you join the school board. Mr. President, per board policy, there was no public remarks or comments required, so we do not have anyone speak tonight. The next part is to tell me something good and acknowledges our students and employees of the month. I'd like to start off with Principal Sarah Maston from Arlington Elementary.
Good evening. Our student of the month for Arlington Elementary is Maggie McAllister. Can you come up here? She is an excellent student, and she works very hard to improve her day. She is well-rounded in her abilities, but also continuously strives to improve and learn new things. For example, she began the school year as a very strong reader, and she has still shown growth in all of our reading programs. She is kind to every student in the classroom and around the building. She is well-liked and respected by her peers. Maggie is almost always smiling and willing to help out in any way she can. She is a joy to have in class, and she exemplifies our school motto, which is what we like to refer to as the Wildcat Way, which is being responsible, open-minded, and an active learner who is respectful. Congratulations, Maddie. Our staff member of the month is Mrs. Noreen Kemple. Noreen is fantastic. She is always helpful and she works well with every student in our building. She's always willing to help when other staff members need anything also. She exhibits professionalism, reliability, work ethic, compassion, and calm. She always greets everyone with a smile and a kind word. She is quick to listen and always has a gentle nature. She works hard with students and they all truly respect and love her. We are very blessed to have her as a part of our Arlington Elementary family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Maston. Milroy Elementary, Mrs. Wilson.
Good evening. So before I recognize our two honorees, I, for two reasons, want to make a little announcement. This is Tell Me Something Good, so that's what I'm going to do here. First, I'm going to announce this because I'm proud of our accomplishment, but also because Mr. Jameson told me I had to. So after about 8 months of hard work from our staff, our students, and our community, we've received word today that the Indiana Department of Education has given Milroy Elementary the successfully, or the excelling in family-friendly schools. So I'm really proud of our school for doing that, and great job to all of our stakeholders. So first of all, we'll start off with our student of the month, and that is Tara Showalter. Tara, you want to come up? So Tara, she's a pretty special girl here. She was nominated by her kindergarten teacher, and she's in first grade now. And her kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Meir, says that Tara is always showing cardinal pride. She works hard, she follows the rules, and she's kind to everybody. Tara knows how to treat others the way she wants to be treated, right? And every time I see Tara in the hallway, she says hi. She continuously shows others what it means to make good choices. Tara's active in top flight cheer, so she does things amazing even out of school. So very special first grader, Tara Showalter. So next, our employee of the month goes to Karen Wagner. So Mrs. Wagner is our secretary at our school. She was nominated by several staff members. A little bit about Karen is, it says, Karen does a little bit of everything for everyone in the building. She's upbeat, positive, and energetic. Every time someone walks through the doors at Milroy Elementary, they see Karen's smile first. What a great thing for our school. Karen sets the tone for Milroy as being a positive and supportive place for students, parents, and staff members. She goes above and beyond what her job calls for. When she sees something that needs done, she does it herself. She's compassionate, and we're very fortunate to have such a special employee. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Now we're going to start with RES West Elementary. And since Mrs. Ennis is not with us tonight, Assistant Principal, Dean of Students, Mr. Jake Hedrick is going to fill in the gaps. All other duties assigned in the small print of your contract.
There's a lot of it.
All right, I'm going to share with you our student of the month for RES West. It's Kaylee Ripberger. We nominated Kaylee Rittberger, for the March Student of the Month. Kaylee embodies so many great qualities in such a little human. Kaylee has a love for learning, and she embraces every single day in our classroom. Kaylee walks into our room every single morning with the brightest smile on her face, and she is ready to knock out anything that she can each and every day. We love to watch Kaylee and the way she interacts with those around her. She is kind, polite, hardworking, loyal, and so fun to be around. Kaylee has a mind of her own, but leads with such gentle kindness about her that she is often looked for guidance and friendship. At recess, you will find Kaylee being a friend to everyone. She is either running with the boys, teaching cheerleading to the girls, or helping a friend on the play booster. One of my favorite qualities about Kaylee is that she never leaves my room in the afternoon without a goodbye hug, and we hope you had a great day. She was nominated by Mrs. Paget. Let me get this together here. All right, RES West Employee of the Month, Lisa Senior Rebele. We cannot express, oh yeah, come on up. There you go. Sorry about that. You're welcome. We cannot express how lucky we are to introduce our staff member of the month for March. Mrs. Rebele joined us late this fall as our school nurse at RES East and West. She greets each day and student with a smile and level of knowledge and expertise. She has already sought our community resources and parent support on many different levels. She goes above and beyond in her efforts to provide support for students, families, and staff. Lisa is a Rush County native and resides on her family farm. She has 3 children, Corinne, Christian, and Gage. She and her children enjoy rodeo, shooting sports, and her youngest participates in wrestling. She is a board-certified pediatric nurse practitioner who has practiced in primary care for 15 years. She has been a registered nurse for 24 years exclusively in peds. We are blessed to have her on our team. Thank you, Lisa. All right. RES East?
RES East, you're on it.
All right, thank you. RES East Student of the Month, Owen Piles. Congratulations, Owen. There you go. A little bit about Owen. He was put up for this award by Mrs. Wallace. Owen always does his best. He goes above and beyond in his efforts. He is always up for a challenge and goes out of his way to help others. He treats everyone with kindness and respect. He has a positive attitude and a great sense of humor. Owen is a great addition to RES East. Thank you, Owen. Okay, staff member for RES East is Rita Castor. There she is right there in front. Ms. Castor is a vital part of the RES East staff and West staff. She comes to work each day with a positive attitude and a smile on her face. She's a wonderful leader in our cafeteria and works hard to make everyone feel included. Ms. Castor is kind, caring, and compassionate with others. She's a great problem solver and always willing to go the extra mile for others. We are lucky to have someone as caring as Mrs. Castor at RES East.
Thank you.
Good job. All right, Mr. Scheidler, Benjamin Rush Middle School.
I don't let you two start anything either. It's rough when you have former students down here. I'm going to change things up a little bit. We're going to start with our staff member of the month, and it'll make sense hopefully here in a minute. But I'd like to welcome Miss Victoria Baker up to the stage, please. Mrs. Baker teaches 7th and 8th grade advanced language arts. She's not afraid to take chances and try new things to constantly ensure her advanced students grow. Our staff member's description of Miss Baker is excellent at her craft, does a great job job with student engagement, and her classes are nonstop action. And I'd have to agree with that part.
Especially today.
Yes. Yeah, I never know what I'm going to see, and it worries me sometimes, but it's fun. She's extremely well liked by our students and staff. You never know what you're going to find when you stop by her classroom, except whatever it is, those students will be engaged. She uses so many non-traditional teaching methods to reach out to those advanced learners, so they will show growth throughout the year. Sometimes these students are harder to show the growth of the typical learner, and that is her passion, is to make those advanced students grow. We are very lucky to have Mrs. Baker as our BMS advanced language class. Well, don't do that. I'm going to change it up a little bit because what's kind of unique tonight, because our staff member of the month nominated our student of the month. It's actually her second nomination, but this one was a very good one, and I just thought it was a great opportunity to let somebody else have some fun here.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was really nice. I'm going to cry. And okay. McKenna Norris, the daughter of Nathan and Erin Norris, and the youngest Norris of her line. McKenna most certainly should be named the BRMS, oh yes, Student of the Month. Myself and her other teachers could identify a ton of positive traits for McKenna, but here are just a few. McKenna always gives 110% to her schoolwork, whether it's the biggest assignment you've ever done, like the 12-week one we just finished, or the single smallest thing. To the benefit of herself, her classmates, and me, most days in 6th period and 1st period last year, McKenna is never afraid to ask thought-provoking or clarifying questions, and she keeps me on track most days. She demonstrates kindness in her daily exchanges with all students and all staff. Her performance extends beyond the classroom and her excellent academic success. She is a multi-sport athlete, including soccer, cross country, track, and she is currently the wrestling manager, one of the wrestling managers, right? Mm-hmm. You have Olivia. Okay, good. In addition, she's a member and a leader of our student council, and she begins every day at BRMS by leading us through the Pledge of Allegiance, our moment of silence, and the daily announcements. And she doesn't know this, but most days I thank you, McKenna, at the end of it. It is an honor, an absolute honor, to recognize McKenna for all of her current successes. And we wish her the best of luck next year when the high school gets the immense pleasure of having you. So, congratulations. I can't wait to see your light continue to shine for Rush County Schools, and you have certainly earned all of the applause that I hope you get in just a second. So, this is McKenna. Congratulations. Oh, that was fun.
And this is just a quick note to my fellow principals. If we could go first for pictures after this is done, that poor girl's got to get back to her wrestling meet tonight and finish her job.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Schuyler. Rushville Consolidated High School, Mr. Hadley.
I want to start by recognizing our Lions Live crew who are live streaming for us today. And so thank you so much, Mr. Bentley and Lions Live crew. We appreciate you being here. So the student of the month for Rushville Consolidated High School is Lena Adams. Lena is sick, cannot be here. She was very nice to email me. She was concerned and disappointed that she's missing. But then I sent her another email saying, hey, Lena, we are live streaming. And she said, so she's watching. So hi, Lena. Congratulations. So I'm going to say a few things about you. Lena Adams not only earns awesome grades here and at WCC, but she is rocking speech team outside of school. She competes in 2 events and is even competing online with students from across the country whenever possible. In addition to our regular speech team meets, Lena is participating in online virtual events, including judging novice speakers. She works very hard to use her time wisely between sports, speech team, WCC, and working hard in her classes at RCS. She manages her schedules with such maturity. She's responsible, dedicated, and has big goals. And she loves her family. Now, that was the original nomination for Mrs. Hannah Lemons, our speech team coach. But then since the nomination and she was chosen, I have on here, it needs to be noted that Lena was the sectional champion in informative speaking and also placed 6th in declamation in the February 25th speech sectional tournament. Lena earned a spot at state competition on March 11th, this Saturday. Saturday. So congratulations for that, Lena. But it kept going. So this past Saturday, Lena Adams competed in the Hoosier Crossroads District Speech Meet. Okay, so we've been competing in this for quite a few years. And if you've seen our Speech Hall of Fame, the pictures are at the Lawful Center. They're currently down because we're renovating the whole area. Those people who qualify for nationals get their picture up in the Speech Hall of Fame. Now, I've been here 19 years. This is my 19th year here in Rush County Schools, and we've competed in this every year, and we have not had a person qualify for the nationals. But it's my pleasure to tell you that Lena Adams finished runner-up in informative speaking, and she qualified for the national tournament in Arizona this summer. And she will have her picture on our Speech Wall of Fame. Congratulations, Lena. And then, Lena, hopefully when you're back to school, I have your certificate and, best of all, your certificate to Mocha Moose. So, all right, it's my pleasure to announce our Employee of the Month, Mr. Rockman Allspaul. Come up here, Rockman. Rocky Allspaul is one of the pillars of RCHS teaching staff. He has been teaching for over 4 decades. He has been many things to many students. To some, he was their teacher. To others, he was their assistant principal. And to many, he was their coach. Rocky has been a centerpiece of the RCHS Social Studies Department ever since I arrived, and this is the teacher speaking, at Rushville 15 years ago. Besides being a fabulous teacher, Rocky is also a fan favorite of students and staff in the hallways. Each morning, Rocky always has some banter to exchange with all the staff who pass by and through the social studies hallway. As a teacher, Rocky has always been student-centered, doing all he can to guide students to a successful completion of the task at hand. He always is willing to help students. I'm excited to nominate Mr. Rockman Allspaul for Employee of the Month. He has put a lifetime of work to earn this honor. This is from Mr. Pat Haney. Yes. Okay, I have some more here too. So, Rocky, he had more than one nomination. Rocky has always been extremely kind and supportive. He went out of his way to bring me materials that his wife used. And Debbie's here today. We appreciate you being here. This was an amazing gesture and was a huge help to Mr. Zachary Burchett. He's our new health teacher. And Rocky just reached out to him and helped him. So that's fantastic. And then finally, Rocky has always been willing to go above and beyond to help students get through his classes. He wants them to succeed, and that's from Miss Natalie Hornsby. So, Rocky, it's my pleasure to award you the Employee of the Month for Rushville Cloud High School. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Hadley. We are going to take a 5-minute break or so everybody can get those pictures taken. I do have one request, and Mrs. Wilson, I'm going to assign you this. Can you make sure you get a picture of all the students for our new The Lion's Roar edition next? So if you could do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. Please take a look at the renderings of the construction projects that got kicked off yesterday, and we're well on our way. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. Thank you.
Hey.
Gavin.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know if you said something.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We'll do it at the end. I apologize. Yeah,
Or you just want to do it now?
we can do it now. Yeah, I apologize. I jumped the gun.
Don't. We can do it at the end. All or nothing. Just before the reports.
Yeah.
Start with Abby. We're waiting on you.
That's easy for you to do, that's hard. Oh, it's getting harder every day. Jameson, consent items.
Yes, I'd like to start off first with our donations. $30 from Kappa 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 sorority to Benjamin Rush Middle School art curriculum to purchase art supplies. $200 from PSI sorority, Milroy, for I Like Me books to the Milroy Elementary Kindergarten students. $30 from Tri Kappa sorority and to Milroy Elementary for the art fund. And $30 from Phi Chapter sorority to RES West to purchase art supplies. Also, for the board, under personal items, I need you to make you aware of that we have struck Mr. Jeff McDaniels. He has requested his name be removed from consideration for the teaching summer school government this year. The high school administration is looking for a replacement as we speak. I seek the board's approval for the February minutes, claims and payroll, personnel report, and donations as stated.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Mr. Sickbert and Mrs. Jackman that we accept claim payroll. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Sorry. Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is the compulsory leave policy that was in your board packet. I seek the board's approval to accept the compulsory leave policy as outlined in your packet and will take effect with any new non-certified hire starting March the 8th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Lyman, seconded by Mrs. Jackman, that we accept the compulsory leave policy. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next item on the agenda is moving funds to invest in Trust Indiana. I seek the board's approval to move $3 million from Bank 10 in First Financial Money Market accounts to Trust Indiana.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we move $3 million from Close Bank to Bank 10. Been moved by Mr. Banks, seconded by Mr. Carmody. Any discussion? Not? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
It is the hiring season, and right now I am requesting at least 2 board members to serve on the principal search committee. We do have 2 openings at Rushville Consolidated High School and Benjamin Rush Middle School. Any board member interested in serving on those committees, if you would like to tell me now, or we can talk afterwards. I just ask that would love to have you guys be present on the search committee for a new principal at both those 2 schools.
I'd be willing to.
I would too.
And I'd also be willing if you need one.
Thank you. I love volunteers.
Will there be any staff?
Yes, there will be staff on there. I'm working on searching that. We have applications open until March 24th, and I'm pleased to report that we've had both some very good interest in both positions. So it's looking good. The next thing on the item is consider approval for a revision to the RCS 2023-2024 academic calendar. I seek the board's approval to make a slight change that in the academic calendar, we will be having students starting school on the same day in kindergarten in grades 12, kindergarten through grades 12. That will be Wednesday, August 9th. We've adjusted that over the course of the years. We've going to move everybody to starting on the same day, and everybody in part of our committees and our discussions are all in favor of doing that one day, first day of school, Wednesday, August 9th. So I seek your approval to that change to the academic calendar. And I will note, I will add end of 9 weeks as well to the calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and moved by Mr. Banks, seconded by Mr. Sickbert, that we have the academic year calendar changed to where everybody starts on the same day, first day of school. Any discussion?
Mr. Jameson, this is it's along the calendar line, but I have noticed that several schools have adjusted their calendars next year so that they're not having school on the day of the solar eclipse, because that's supposed to happen at 3 o'clock, right about the time you're taking kids home. And so I can understand their considerations of doing that. Have you given any thought to that?
Yes, I have. And actually, here at Rush County, this week, we are having a meeting in dealing with the solar eclipse on a year from now, April 8th, and kind of how we're going to proceed. So yes, I am taking that into consideration. At our work session, I will have my recommendation that we could pass it so we give everybody a year's time to make that adjustment. Some people are moving the PD day that was on a Wednesday to that Monday so that school doesn't get interrupted, but students are not on the bus when the solar eclipse is happening.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Important dates. Spring break.
Spring break is very close, March 27th through the 31st, and the office will be closed here at Central Office on 3/31. April 1st through May 1st is kindergarten pre-registration. On April 4th, the regular school board meeting here at Central Office starting at 7 p.m. That's at 7. April 7th, no school, makeup day. Hopefully we don't have any late snows and we get to enjoy that day. April 15th is the prom at the Ron Weber Party Place in Batesville, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. April 16th is the Top 10 banquet. That is a Sunday, starting at 2:30 in the RCHS cafeteria. And just put everybody's calendar, the Jason Kuhn Memorial Golf Outing is scheduled for June 23rd, and we're probably early, 8, 9 o'clock registration, tee-off time, but we're still working that out. So some updated. Only thing under other, for your consideration, I seek the board's approval to move forward with the 2 projects described as RES Elementary Project and Benjamin Rush Middle School Project for the 2023 GO bond in the amount of $9.2 million.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Ron Lyman. Sorry.
Mr. Carmody.
Oh.
You can put me down too.
You guys just pointed that way. I didn't hear it. Mr. Carmody, any discussion?
Oh.
Okay, that's what I'm like.
There's no more, is there more discussion?
No, it's on something else. Go.
Okay,
You're good,
sorry.
sorry.
If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We missed C, closed bank 05 interest checking account. We skipped that one.
Seeking the board's approval to close Bank 05 interest checking account with First Financial and move those funds to the Bank 10 First Financial money market account. That goes in line with the Trust Indiana investments. I'd seek your approval of that.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we close the account with Bank 5. Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, board member comments. Start, Mr. Harmony.
I'd just like to say that we had a meeting, the board of directors and the staff and teachers at Rushville Elementary. Before we spend all the money we just discussed in the bond issue, we want to know how it should be structured, what should be different about the building, what needs to be changed. Had a great meeting. I appreciate all the input that we got then. We're still receiving it. Haven't made any final decisions yet. Will not until the principals have talked to all of the staff and then have talked to us. So, but we're moving down the road, and I really appreciated all the time and effort put forth by everybody at school. We were very well welcomed, and I think we're making exceptional progress.
I attended about an hour of the career day / testing day last week on Wednesday at the high school, and the high school did a wonderful job of putting things together for that. And, you know, it shows that the staff has a lot of trust with the students as well as the students with the staff, because while I was there, they were, you know, the students were very well behaved. The students that I watched moved from place to place and did things. And this is just a good example of our vision statement of providing educational opportunities for our students. Doug?
I was going to say, I'm excited about the graphics I saw for the van trailer. I think that's a way to, a chance we get to promote our high school to do a nice job. To kids feel good about their program. I think it's a great thing. So kudos to the design. I really like it.
Just today, I was in RES, and it was the first day for third graders to start their, it seems like month of testing that they have to go through with iRead. And if you haven't been in a building when it happens, especially RES, because not having doors on the room, I mean, teachers, even if you're not a third grade or second grade teacher, you're moving your kids to another building, they have to be, you know, extremely quiet, and all the links that all the buildings go to make sure that the students have an optimum experience, or what to take the test and do it when hopefully they're feeling and can concentrate their best. So it's a big undertaking for all students and staff, and so kudos to them for making it work, because it's not easy at RES with no doors on the room. So
Thank you.
that's all I got.
Okay. The high school speech team, I don't know exactly where they placed, but I think they did really well this year. Kudos to them. FFA had a good week last week, I think it was last week.
Yeah, and they
For their FFA week.
They host the district competition this Friday.
Yeah. And thank you for everything everybody does. So we'll move on to administrators' reports.
Yes. Dr. Tom Keeley, Director of Operations.
So maintenance, grounds and transportation part, maintenance, it's in playground tenants, so all playgrounds at RES are deep mulch, and the fence is now off if you haven't been over there. We got 2 musical equipments in the adaptive playground, so that was really nice, through a grant through Nancy, working on that. It's nice to see the kids. I drive by there each day just to see the kids playing on it because it took a few months to get done. As you do know, the construction has started, and I mean, it's big time. They already put up the wall, the wooden wall barriers, and if you drove by the gym today, you'll see that the metal edges around the windows are already pulled off. Every one of those panels weighs over 300 pounds of glass, so that's going to be quite a change here in the next couple weeks for sure. But we did get the storyboards up and around, and we will plan to take those to every community event we can over the next 2 months, so that people know, what are you doing? They can see the pictures of that, especially the lobby, you'll notice has the carpet in there, exactly how we envisioned it. Grounds has moved directly outside now that it's warm weather. They did a nice job in winter mode, but now they've already mowed the baseball field. They have manicured the softball field. Even though we had 3 inches of rain on last Friday, they were able to add enough topsoil and have it moved around where we didn't have standing water on Monday morning. And the girls played with their tryouts on Monday afternoon. That was yesterday afternoon. So, I don't know if in the past, I know it was almost unusable, but they're using some other ingenuity, not just tiling, to get that done. So we'll keep an eye on that softball field as well. As far as transportation, today was a big day. We went through our annual drug and alcohol random testing audit. 3.5 hours later, we arrived to be able to stay in functioning and in place. It's a lot of rules, regulations. The Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has so many rules and regulations, but we followed all of them. We have great drivers. The mechanics finished their 4th round of inspections today, and there's not one bus that is sidelined at this time. So we're completely done for the year. Anything over 12 years will need to be redone in August, but right now we're in a great place, and the transportation department's doing pretty well.
Thank you, Haley. Mrs. Lee, Director of Finance and Technology.
As you will see in the operations, one of the things that I look at the most on these is the very bottom, where you have the original projections of the cash balance compared to what the cash balance is at the end of each month. So as you can see, our cash balance is almost 300,000 ahead of where we thought we would be at this point in time. Now that doesn't mean throughout the year we won't fluctuate back and forth, but it's just a good sign to see that we're ahead of where we have projected in terms of the education fund, where we are. Just a reminder of next month as to why our expenditures down the bottom a little higher. We do have a 3K month, actually this month in March. So that's why those projections are a little bit higher. Now, when you go to operations, one thing that I wanted to show you is that we had anticipated our cash balance to be the negative right now, just because of the way things fluctuate when we get money in from the different areas and what we spend out. It is a little more than projected, but the reason behind that, the main reason behind that is we did purchase the new vehicles in February and paid them in February. I anticipated March for the payment. So since we pay those in that line at the bottom, the 700 row, you see there's 100 projected, 100,000. That will not be taken out that month because we already took it out that 62 in February. So if you take off that 100,000 projected, we're about where we anticipated to be. So for this, we're about where we anticipated. Now, as a reminder, if you look up at the top part of the chart with the transfers, we will probably be coming to in April for a request to transfer from education to operations. At least 2 times a year we plan to do that in April, and that keeps us where we need to be. So that will probably be what we'll do for next next board meeting is to do that. So, but as you can see, besides that, we're very close to where we projected in terms of operations. So next month, hopefully, we'll be pretty close to that, depending on our other expenditures. And then debt service, there's not really much change with that. So that we had one small expenditure in debt service, and besides that, nothing new with that. So, any questions there? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Lee.
Some of them on the electric, get the January electric bill since for this year compared to last year.
The thing is, there's a lot of things, we can get those, but it takes a lot of things where you have to compare weather from that time and things like
Well,
that. So, yeah.
But it'd still be relative.
Yes.
So,
Yes, and yes, I mean, but the amounts have also risen a great deal, so whether it's weather or lights and things like that, but yes, we can get that.
We can do that by the next board meeting?
Yes.
So we know what we're putting back in the rainy day fund.
Yeah.
Is I think what Jeff's getting at.
Okay.
Not just the dollar amounts, but I'd like to see the usage numbers, kilowatt hours.
Okay, we'll have to get those up, okay.
As we started the meeting, unfortunately, Mrs. Nicholson had a family member pass away, so she's with her family, and our thoughts and prayers are with her this evening. So we're going to skip over the Special Services Director's report. Ms. Flaff?
I just have a couple things. With curriculum, one of our elementary teachers go through some summer training in phonics and just some more background information to help them implement that in the next school year. Also, curriculum-wise, the Department of Education is coming out with the standards reduction and prioritization. So right now, they have some standards out for public comment based on legislation that was passed last year. They have reduced standards 25% for each grade level with those different subjects. They're out for public comment right now. So that's something I'm working through, making it easier to kind of take a look and see, sending that out to teachers to get their input. And then those will eventually be brought to the State Board of Ed this summer. So that's just kind of what's going on curriculum-wise. And then, as Mrs. Jackman said, testing. IRE testing started yesterday. So that is our second and third graders. It's a third grade test, but the Department of Education is letting second graders opt into that. They're really pushing for that, and we think that was a great choice for us because we can catch those kids, we can provide that remediation even sooner, and if they pass as second graders, they don't have to take the test as a third grader. Middle school is doing NWEA. That's coming to a close, and elementary will finish up NWEA in a couple weeks.
Thank you. Mrs. Schroeder, grant coordinator.
Hello, everyone. Just to tag team off of Ms. Flack, the elementary training for Orton Gillingham, which is phonics and reading, is paid for out of Title I. We had some carryover funds from last year, and then so that gave us some money to use for professional development this summer. So that amendment has been submitted to the Department of Ed to pay for that training. Love seeing Mrs. Castor honored tonight for RCS East. I know some staff members had asked Mrs. Castor, hey, do you think you could do a salad bar for the staff? And she said, sure thing. So she's gearing that up to start a salad bar for staff members at East and West, and I appreciate her and her staff being willing to take that on. Also in the realm of cafeterias, the USDA is looking at amending or changing the requirements for school lunches. They are open for public comments on those changes. They want to add the amount of whole grains. They want to decrease the amount of sugars, especially in breakfast cereals. And because of the decrease in sugars, they're looking at getting rid of flavored milks. If these changes pass, that will start in 2025. So if you would like to go onto the USDA site and give your opinions on that, feel free to do so. The playground, as Dr. Keeley mentioned, the adaptive playground got 2 new pieces of equipment. Those became because of Dr. Sipper and ARC. We were supposed to, for ARC, put in a piece of equipment called Charlie the Chomper, which is a rocking apparatus. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough room to put in Charlie because there wasn't enough clearance for, someone went flying off of Charlie, those sorts of things. So when Mrs. Nicholson and I looked at something to replace Charlie, I knew how much music meant to the Sickbert family, so we added 2 musical pieces to the adaptive playground. So please tell ARC thank you. Okay. And that's all I have this evening.
Charlie the
Thank you, Ms. Schroeder. Once again, big shout out. Thank you to the Lions Live crew for broadcasting tonight. Hopefully everyone out there got to witness this and experience it if they couldn't come, but they at least got to tune in. And that is all I have, Mr. President.
I move to adjourn.
What we got tonight?